what happened in Kentucky, I think, is even more interesting. And I think what happened in Kentucky, shows the insanity of the Democratic Party having left Howard Dean's 50-state model, number one, which says to me, Debbie Wasserman Schultz really needs to rethink her strategy, or we need to get somebody in who can actually run a national campaign for the Democrats. Number two, the Democrat who is running in Kentucky is, what do you say? Shall we say Jack Conway? He's kind of moderate, but he didn't turn out the base. Jack Conway was another recycled Democratic failure. He failed against Rand Paul 5 years ago. I mean, this is kind of, Cosmic Kitten is writing about this. This is the Martha Coakley thing, as we call it in Massachusetts. You take a demonstratedly relatively incompetent politician and throw them into a race just because they've been loyal to the party. Sorry, it doesn't work. A. And B, when you've got a so-called moderate, kind of a Bill Clinton moderate running for political office these days as a Democrat, Democratic base doesn't show up. They don't care. And the Republicans win. If Jack Conway had been the Democratic candidate in Kentucky had been a genuine progressive, I mean, only 30% of the eligible voters in Kentucky showed up. That's like 15% of the people, because, about half of the eligible voters in Kentucky are registered to vote, and only 30% of them showed up. So that's like 15% of all the people in Kentucky who are, theoretically eligible to vote. And the Republican won. And what did the Republican win on? Matt Bevin? He ran by campaigning with Kim Davis. Or campaigning on Kim Davis. Kim Davis, the Kentucky county clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. So Matt Bevin's, Connect, which is the Obamacare expansion, the Medicaid expansion in Kentucky, is fabulously popular. It's very, very successful in Kentucky. And Matt Bevins said, among his promises, we will absolutely end Medicaid expansion. No question about it. I would reverse that immediately, he said. And then in recent months, he has, as Joan McCarter writes over at the Daily Kos, he has softened that stance. Now he says, I plan to use the open enrollment period in 2016, that's right now, to transition people from the state level exchange to the federal exchange. Once all are transitioned, I would shut down the exchange. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with expanding Medicaid. And it really won't, it's not going to matter much. An exchange is an exchange. It's more symbolic than anything else. But the fact of the matter is that you have a Republican governor now in Kentucky, largely because he campaigned on the hate the gay vote. And because the Democratic candidate did not activate the Democratic base. You cannot win an election without your base. The lie that we have been told lie is probably too strong a word. The mistake that has been presented to us by campaign consultants like Bob Shrum and for years is that you have to win over the swing voters, the people in the middle. This is the Republicans tell Democrats this, and Democrats follow their advice. Republicans don't follow this advice. Republicans go right to the base. Yes, I'm Michelle Bachmann. I'm crazy, and she gets elected. But Democrats, they say, the base. What did Rahm Emanuel call liberals? Effing retards. When he was chief of staff to the president. So what Democrats do is they say, let's find somebody who's acceptable to Republicans too, and try to get those, quote, independent. I'm sorry, the independent vote does not exist. If you don't turn out your base, you lose. And that's exactly what happened in Kentucky.